Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Kaylan Alex. If you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe, become part of the tribe. Awesome and great things happen over here. And if you're returning, thank you so much for tuning in. So today's video is going to be a video that I've done before, but I've been getting quite a few questions on this topic, so I figured I'd do an updated first luxury purchase recommendation. So these are going to be handbags that I recommend specifically. And I try to make this list a little bit different from the one before. So you'll see a few newer style bags, but things that I would recommend as a first purchase. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So the first fashion house I have on my list is Louis Vuitton. I'm always going to recommend Louis Vuitton because it is a classic brand. It's a brand that we will see around forever, that has been around forever, and has pretty much proved their classicness. Outside of what we've been seeing them recently do, they're still a classic, iconic fashion house, period. I will make one disclaimer though. I won't mention any totes. My thoughts on totes as a first purchase is don't do it. I feel like totes are such a specific style of bag that usually, or in my opinion, should be limited to work, travel, or something where you have to carry a lot of items and you just kind of need something to catch it all. I wouldn't consider a tote as a first purchase because it's limited in versatility. It's not something you can wear to dinner, or even like if you're going to the mall and shopping, like you don't want to hold a tote around. So those are my thoughts on totes as a first purchase. However, I do think that they are great bags that you need in your collection for those specific purposes of traveling, work, going about your day, and you need to carry a lot of stuff. So, or even overnight bags, like they're good for that. But as far as a day-to-day, day-to-night bag, it's not going to be something I recommend. So back to the bags. Louis Vuitton. The first bag that I have on my list is a Pochette Métis. Now, you guys, if you've watched my previous video, you know that I actually had this bag and I sold it, but I still highly recommend it. I have quite a few bags in my collection, so this wasn't one that I just needed there. But if you're considering a first bag, I definitely suggest it. It was actually one of the bags that I purchased on my own by myself. And I love that bag. I wore it like with anything and everything. I wore it day to day, day to night, wherever. It was my favorite bag because it's just the perfect size. And the fact that it has that long strap on it, it's versatile, and how you can wear it, I just love it. I do like it in the traditional monogram. I think it's the Empreon is how you say it. I like it in that leather as well. I just feel like it's a classic style bag. So it's definitely high on my recommendation list. The next bag that I have on here is the Alma BB. Now, this bag I feel like is such a classic bag. It comes in different sizes, but specifically the BB version, which is the mini version, is the one I'd recommend for a first purchase because it is versatile. It is a bag that can be worn at night, to dinner, to a concert, to, out with your friends or significant other. It can be worn at night, but it's also a bag that you can wear during the day. So it's big enough that you can house things if you're going to the mall, to the grocery store, running errands, or whatever you do in the day. The bag is a good size for either. So I definitely recommend that, especially because now we see the straps being interchanged on different bags, and this one, it has a removable strap as well as the Pochette Métis, so you can try different straps on them and kind of give them a different look. Highly recommend the Alma BB, and pretty much all of the finishes, colors, prints that it comes in, I think they do a good job of representing the bag as a whole. So there's that. The next bag from Louis Vuitton I have on here is, I think it's called the Crusette bag. This is different from what I've recommended before. This is a newer style bag. However, I think that the top handle, the strap on it, just the classic print that it comes in is timeless, and the style of the bag is timeless as well as the print, so you really can't go wrong with it. It's also not a bag that is super big or super small, so it's big enough to house things that you would carry in your day-to-day life while also being small enough to wear to dinner. And as you can see, with most of the bags that I'll list, they are versatile. You can wear them at different points and different times with different outfits. You're not limited to a special occasion or just dressed down. So that is why I have this bag on here. The next one is the On The Go in the PM. Now, we first saw the On The Go in the MM, which is the huge tote. It's very nice. I like it. As a first purchase, would not recommend. Can you imagine going to dinner with a huge On The Go MM tote? I can't. I don't know if you can, but they now come in the PM version, which is a smaller version, and it still gives you that feel of a tote if that's something that you want, with the top handle, but it also has a longer shoulder strap, so you get the best of both worlds. And I think that it's a pretty good size and can be, worn at night as well as, of course, during the day. So I'm here for it. I recommend it. Yeah. The next brand that I have on the list is Saint Laurent. So we know Saint Laurent to have some of the most classic, timeless style bags. Like, their bags stand the test of time, in my opinion. The first bag I have on the list is the Sunset. I really, really like this bag. I feel like this is like the perfect mix of day to day and day to night, because you can get it in so many different finishes. The fact that the bag has that chain detailing to it as well, it just makes the bag easy to convert. You can also get it in just the plain leather. I personally happen to like the embossed croc or the mock croc version of the bag in the black or the gray color. I just think it looks so good. And I just love the feel and the vibe that it gives. So I am a gold hardware girl, but this is a bag that I wouldn't mind in the silver hardware. I think YSL does a good job with their silver hardwares. I'm not so much a fan of the antique look that we see sometimes, but other than that, like, I'm okay with it. The strap is also kind of versatile in how you can wear it. So you can wear it as a top, a shoulder bag, or you can wear it as like a crossbody bag or just a long shoulder bag. So of course we're here for that versatility as well. The next bag I have on the list is the Lulu bag. Now, I'm recommending this bag and I'm laughing because this bag is something that has grown on me over time. I think it's the perfect kind of entryway into luxury or entryway into Saint Laurent or anything like that because of the various sizes with it. And that's another thing that I appreciate about Saint Laurent. Literally every bag they have comes in a plethora of sizes. So you cannot help but to find the perfect size bag for you. This bag is no different than any other, and it comes in a different amount of sizes and finishes as well. I personally would recommend something kind of medium size. I think the small version is what I would consider most versatile because it's not super big, it's not super small. If you're a big handbag kind of person, then definitely the medium. And then they also have like a toy version, which is just like a crossbody with like a leather strap. But I personally like the chain straps a little bit better because I feel like the chain straps kind of give bags more of a it kind of gives the bag more of a luxurious, versatile, could be evening wear style bag. And in my opinion, that's something that you want to consider when you get in your first bag. Like, the last thing you want to do is only be able to wear this bag for a certain occasion. Like, in my mind, I want to wear my first bag with whatever I have on. regardless of where I'm going. So that's why I would recommend one with like a chain or something like that, because it's a little more versatile. The next bag is their iconic Kate's bag. Now, this bag, I don't think I'll ever get rid of. I actually have a Kate in the smaller version of it, but the medium one is the one I'm going to recommend for your first purchase because, again, it is that perfect size. The strap on it can be doubled and worn as like a little shoulder bag, or it can be worn as a long shoulder bag or kind of crossbody depending on the person. So I really, really like the K bag. I love that simple top flap. That simple flap that opens and closes the bag, the magnetic. It's simple, and you can either choose to get the one with a tassel on it or without. That is kind of preference. I do think the tassel makes the bag a little more formal, but it can still be worn with jeans and just dressed down. So I'm not too picky on the tassel, but I love the Kate bag. I think it's the perfect size and the perfect bag if you're trying to get your first YSL bag or just first bag in general. The next brand that I have on my list is Prada. Now, we have seen a lot from Prada recently. A lot of trend with Prada. I definitely think that if you're more of a trendy person, maybe you can indulge in the trend because that's something that's your style anyway. And when I say trend, I mean the re-editions. I don't foresee those bags being lifetime use bags. However, if that's your personality, do that. The re-edition with the multi-utility style re-edition, I like that bag and I like these bags. I just wouldn't say that they are classic enough, long wearing enough to consider them as the only or the first bag, luxury designer bag that you have in your collection. All are very nice bags. I definitely would recommend, if you do decide, maybe get the Saffiano leather, because leather is something that is a little more timeless versus the nylon. But that is just preference and my thoughts on the re-editions or the newer style bags that we're seeing from them. Some of their classic bags are the Galleria bag is an iconic Prada bag that I feel like has lasted the test of time, has been around. It comes in different colors and a few different sizes, so you get to pick what size works best for you. I also like that this bag can be worn as like a work bag. So even though the smaller version, which is the one I'm considering or that I'm suggesting, it is small. It can fit things that you would take throughout your day. It could be a work bag, or you can still wear it as a handbag for dinner. And that's kind of like my mindset when it comes to shopping for your first designer bag, something that you can wear anywhere. And I feel like that bag you can do that with, especially because it comes in different colors and different sizes. And it is the Saffiano leather, which is a leather, so of course I recommend. The other bag that I recommend is their Saffiano leather mini bag. It's literally just a mini or small bag. It is big enough to house things if you want to carry it during the day. It fits a phone and things like that. So I definitely recommend that bag if you want something a little more smaller, a little more of a crossbody bag. Of course, they have a few different options for crossbody, but I know some people just don't want a crossbody, or they want something that they can fit more things in it than you would be if the bag is only just like a little crossbody. So most of their crossbodies are pretty versatile in that they can fit a phone, a wallet, keys, and things of that sort. But just be mindful of, I guess, where you're going to be wearing the bag to know that this is going to be the bag for me. Go in the store, try them on, see what works best for you, what fits best in your lifestyle, and go with it. Of course, there is no video without Chanel. I honestly think I get the most questions of my thoughts on Chanel and my opinions on the first purchase from Chanel. I guess because I'm a Chanel girl. I just love Chanel, but I get the most questions here. So I kind of try to add mostly newer style bags or the things that we're seeing being first introduced here as things I recommend. So the first bag that I have on here is the Business Affinity bag. I think this bag is super cute. It's like the perfect size. I love that it has that top handle, the flap, and the long strap on it. It makes it a little more versatile. It does have that little pocket at the front and then the open space at the back, so you have a little more room to house different amounts of stuff with it. And it literally can fit things that you would carry during the day, and it's small enough to wear at night. That's how I gauge it. It's also a classic style of bag, and we're seeing more of that style bag be introduced with Chanel, with the top handles and the longer straps. So I do like that, and I think it's a good alternative if you like the, say, the Coco handle or the trendy CC. It's just a different version of that bag. So honestly, when it comes to bags like that, it's just a matter of preference on the bag, because price is a little similar, unless you're getting the larger size or the trendy CC. The other bag I have on the list is the Coco handle. I speak about my Coco handle all the time. I'm literally so glad that I have that bag. I think it's become a classic bag, and I just love it. It is not, however, a bag that can be worn crossbody. So if that is something that is important to you, just know that it's just a top handle and a shoulder bag. Although sometimes, depending on the person, it can be worn as a crossbody. But this bag holds a lot of stuff in the smaller size. It does come in 3 sizes. The large, the small is what they call it, which is like the in-between size, and a mini. I personally have the middle size, so the small, medium size, and it's perfect. It has feet on the bottom, so it's not just sitting on there. It doesn't just sit on the bottom of the bag, which I love. And it's kind of spacious. Like, it doesn't look like it holds a lot, but it holds quite a bit. And I love that. The strap can be removed if you just want to wear it as a top handle without the strap. Definitely can be worn as a short shoulder bag. And it's in caviar, so I typically prefer the caviar because of its durability and the fact that you don't have to be as cautious with it as you would have to be with like a lambskin or a goat skin. Of course, goat skin is a little more, you can be a little more, don't have to take as much care of it compared to lambskin. Another conversation for another day, but there's that. Next Chanel bag I have on the list is the 19. Now, we have literally seen the 19 steal the show when it comes to Chanel. I feel like it's one of the most sought after bags. Like, I think I would even venture to say that people are searching for 19s more than a classic flaps. Like, the 19s have become popular. Like, they're a hit. And it was like, at first, when they was first coming out, I was like, I don't know how I like this. And then now I'm like, okay, I like this. I like the versatility of it. I like the fact that it comes in lambskin or goat skin. A quick thing with that also is that if you prefer either skin or either skin, you have to wait 6 months for it. So if this season a goat skin came out and you really want lambskin, you have to wait 6 months to the next drop. The next one will be lambskin and vice versa. So the difference, or the main difference with goat skin and lambskin is way more softer and way more delicate than goat skin. Goat skin is, although it's still soft, it's not as soft as lambskin. It can hold a little bit more, or it doesn't require as much attention as lambskin would. So if I had to like categorize the spectrum, I would say from least concerned to most concerned, or least delicate to most delicate, it would be caviar, goat skin, lamb skin, when it comes to the finishes of them. However, both lambskin and goat skin are kind of similar, and I think they complement the 19 bag very well. I'd recommend, though, the small medium size. So this is another bag. Like, Chanel doesn't give us definite sizes. I don't know why, but they do that. So the small medium version of the bag I think is more versatile than the large. Definitely the maxi is huge in this bag. The last option I have on here is, of course, a classic flap. You cannot go wrong with the classic flap. Like, the classic flap is Chanel, like, period. Double flap, that's Chanel. That's gonna forever be Chanel. So of course I'm gonna recommend it. Even the small, large, or the jumbo size, I think are perfect. And there's a little bit more versatility with it because you can also opt to get a vintage version of the bag. Now, vintage Chanel is a whole mood and a whole vibe of its own. So I definitely would recommend and consider, suggest that one look at a vintage bag as well for their first purchase. My very first Chanel bag was a vintage double flap classic bag, black lambskin with gold hardware that I sold. I still have thoughts about it sometimes, but going the vintage route is also a good route to go with Chanel. Now, there are some vintage bags that are kept in pristine condition that have aged very well, so you can find a good vintage Chanel bag and feel good about it. You know, sometimes with older bags, they look like they old. Like, depending on how it's being cared for, how it's cared for, it can look like it's old, and no one wants their first bag to look like it's been used for 99 years, you know. So the point I'm making is that you can find some really, really good vintage bags that have been kept in pristine condition. So consider those as well as more of the newer style, or I guess the newer versions of the bag as well. The color, I don't feel like matters as much. I feel like that would depend on what you wear most of, and what your lifestyle is like. I would say the best bet would go with a neutral color, a black, a nude, a tan, something like that. Like I say, it's gonna mostly depend on your lifestyle, if you have kids or not, where are you gonna be most likely to wear the bag to, all of that as far as color. But of course, I'm going to recommend the classic flap, and you can check out the vintage ones. So guys, that is going to be it for my suggestions. I tried to give you guys a good little mix of classic iconic style bags, as well as ones that are more newer, but we're seeing become more of a classic style and staying true to the brand. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, drop a nice comment down below, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I post again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.